Yeah, same.
You are nervous.
I'm nervous as well.
This
Each
is
time
your
I have
sixth episode already.
yeah, but each time I have a new guest over, right? I get nervous. I don't know what to ask. I don't know how to start.
Okay.
Like now. So,
Like now.
was it? I thought it was a Grab that dropped you off.
No, my
earlier.
dad.
That's your dad? I thought it was your boyfriend.
He gets that a lot. My boyfriend does look a bit like my dad.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I thought it's him.
No,
And,
it's not
I thought of
him.
coming and saying hi. So.
Okay, later you can see.
Okay, so let's start with your bar.
Okay.
Let's jump right in, okay?
Okay,
You're
sure.
almost a lawyer.
Almost, yeah.
So when did you enroll?
When did I enroll to the bar?
Yeah.
As in, like, when I got called to the bar or when I started the
When
course?
you started? So I know it was during COVID, right?
No. So,
When was it?
so as soon as I finished my degree, which was in 2018 July,
That was
long
way
time.
back. Huh?
Yeah, but 2018 doesn't feel that long.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
know, yeah.
So I finished my degree in 2018 July. I started in September 2018.
Okay.
So I started. So the course that I did wasn't like just the bar. I did my master's while
sweet.
doing the bar, but the duration is still the same. It's the same 9 months or more or less, but within the year lah. So
Okay.
so I started that in 2018.
When did you finish it?
I only completed it last year, 2020. Last year 2022
Yeah, 2022.
No,
yeah.
but I finished it in 2021. I
Okay.
think.
And then you got called to bar much later, right?
Yeah. So
How come?
So basically the inns, this is where we get called. They only have few sessions.
What do you mean by ins?
Okay. So this is how the bar course is
Okay.
like. Okay, the bar course is like a professional paper for those who want to be like a barrister or like a lawyer in the UK.
I thought it was globally, like all the Commonwealth countries.
Yeah, you can. I mean, anywhere, yeah. So in the UK mainly, and then also any Commonwealth country. That's why, like, when I got called to the bar in the UK, I could just continue to do I could start my chambering. I don't have to do the CLP because it's like recognized.
Okay.
So the inns is basically what it is like, there's about 4 inns. There is Middle Temple, Inner Temple, Lincoln's Inn, and Grace Inn. I think, yeah. 4. So basically, back in the days, they didn't have like internet as how easily accessible it is. So they used to organize dinings. People have, you know that one when you reply on my Instagram?
Yeah, so classy, man.
So it's like Hogwarts, right?
Yeah.
So people will, like, barristers will come and they will have their meal, and then they get to like meet other barristers, other lawyers, talk. That's like the olden day networking. So they decided to like continue.
Kept it alive lah.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I mean, it's
they had the candles also more.
Yeah, it's very fancy, and they do kind of really follow the like
tradition.
The customs and everything. So it's nice. I mean, it's nice that they continue to like incorporate.
So
that.
that's what you mean. But that's the bar
So,
being called to bar.
So
is it?
basically, when you finish your course, that when you finish all your, so we have about, I think, 10 to 12, because now I think they keep changing their modules. So when I joined the bar, we had about 12 papers we had to sit.
Okay.
So it's a combination of like written and also like advocacy. So
Okay.
like that means you have advocacy. That means you pretend to be lawyer. You have people.
Oh, I want to talk about that also.
You have people who are like
You have
like,
actors coming in.
So and usually you start off with having your friends.
Okay.
So they will pretend to be the defendant, and then you're the lawyer. So you present
it's fun.
your case.
Sounds fun.
It is. It's fun.
Okay.
During exam, it's not fun.
Oh, okay.
It really tests you to think on the spot, and then your teacher would be like the judge. So they will have judicial intervention. That means like the judge will intervene and ask a question.
Oh,
so
you better be prepared.
Yeah, so they may ask you like the timeline, or like ask you like something. So you have to like be able to think. You can't say like I don't know. So you have to like know your case in and out.
Let's revisit that day.
Okay.
What was your case about?
Oh, I can't remember. That was a really long time ago. But okay, so we have to do 1 civil and 1 criminal.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, my criminal case was something about some fight. Some fight, some fight. So basically I will be questioning the defendant, and I'll be asking them questions like, where were you at this time? Because they are going to argue that
Like a movie, huh?
it's like they will say it's not their fault. So you have to ask question, cross-examine them basically.
Okay.
So when you cross-examine, basically what it is, you ask like leading question. Leading question is like not open-ended question. It's not like
Has to be very specific.
Yeah, it's not like, what time were you there? It's like, you were there at 8:30, weren't you? You were with your friend there, weren't you? Like, it's very
incriminating.
Like, yes. But that's the whole point of cross-examining. You actually
Okay.
don't really need for them to like agree to you, because usually they won't agree to you. So you just keep asking those leading questions. You actually, what you want to do is
You are
kind of,
basically tricking them into...
not really. You're trying to build up the story for the jury. So in the UK, they still go by trial by jury.
Okay.
So the jury decides whether they're guilty or not guilty. So you actually, at the day, you want to present the case. You want to present the timeline, the story, for people to have a bigger picture. You get what I mean?
So you were provided with the actors, or you get to choose who?
No, you are lucky we get to choose. No.
Okay,
They
okay.
actually, for during exam, we actually have they hired actors lah. But
How
I think
convincing is the acting? Is it
honestly, some of them are pretty. Some of them go over at the board.
Really?
Yeah, they were like purposely. They will go off script a lot. They will say whatever they want to say.
These actors are from the acting school, is it?
No, I'm not too sure. They say they were in my uni. They say they were from acting
These
school.
are random people, is it?
But yeah, it's just random. It's just people I've never seen before. It's like definitely not my friends. Like nobody I've known.
Yeah,
So they hire actors to kind of play the role.
Wow. So you sat for the exam during COVID, no?
No, okay, yeah, I did. So
Okay.
basically, each student were given 3 times to sit for the exam. So one
Okay.
is obviously the first time you sit, then you can resit again, and then you only have the final attempt. So there's 3 times in total.
Okay.
So if you don't get through the 3rd time, it's considered like you failed the course.
Oh shit.
So that means if you have like 12 papers, you got through 11, and you fail like the last one for
Yeah, I
the 3rd
remember.
time.
I know someone like this.
And you just fail the whole course. I mean,
Can you appeal?
You can appeal, but you have to have a really good reason to appeal lah.
Oh my. Do you know someone? Do you know people like that?
I mean, I've known people who failed the 3rd time and they've actually appealed, and somehow they got the
okay.
and really happy for them lah. So they eventually did get through and everything. So
Okay. So you got through the first time, lah?
I wish. I wish I was that smart. No, actually no. That's why I think it makes my bar journey very interesting.
Okay.
I think it really taught me resilient
yeah.
a lot. So when I first sat for the bar paper, I sat when I was in the UK.
Okay.
I sat in the UK and I didn't get through that. But I didn't fail like miserably. I missed it by like about 4 marks or 5 marks. And the passing marks is 60.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. So if you get
The bar's high.
yes, if you get 58, you fail.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's no such thing as like, oh, I want to go, like SPM, I want to go check my paper and pay 50 to get or what. No, you don't have that. I mean, I'm sure they have that option, but literally almost 0 people actually do that, because the chances of them marking your paper wrongly is almost to 0.
Okay.
Because I think it's mission marking for those objective questions.
Wow. So the first time you didn't get through.
I didn't get through.
Okay.
I tell you why I didn't get through.
Okay, go
Okay, so we were given a mock exam.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I was doing the mock exam. I was like, okay lah, it's doable. I think it's fine.
Uh-huh.
I went to exam. It's like nothing from our mock exam. It was so different. So the reason why it's tough is because, okay, so for criminal and civil, they are 75 MCQs, but they are also known as single best answers. So SBA, I think it's called. Basically, there is
all 4 answers are correct.
Yes.
So you have to pick the best one.
Yeah. So if you pick B, you're not wrong. It's just it's not the best answer.
Oh god.
So that's why it makes it like very difficult
Okay.
for you to like get through.
How different are the essays? Do you have essays? No essays.
We have opinion writing.
Uh-huh.
We have drafting, but those are all like open book. I would consider them as essay lah.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it's not like written. I think we use computer to type.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I think they're about like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh, okay. That's
Paper.
nice.
So yeah, I'll tell you my experience. So I didn't get through the first time. So
Okay.
I was fine. Okay. So but after that, I actually came back to Malaysia. This was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when COVID happened. And I was like, okay, COVID happened. Now I have to sit for the paper online.
Mm-hmm.
So my second time sitting for the paper online. And this was the first time in history that the UK bar have ever conducted an exam online.
Okay.
So you can imagine there's
Yeah.
like thousands of people sitting for this paper.
Uh-huh.
The software crashed.
Oh shit.
So midway sitting for the paper, my software crashed. I couldn't log in and I couldn't, like, it just gone.
Okay.
So then I can't resit because the next sitting would be like months apart. So I sent an email to my university. I sent an email to the bar and I told them the situation. So they gave me okay, the next time you can sit was in.
Did they consider you as fail?
Because it was their first time. They gave like a waiver.
Oh, like a waiver.
So they didn't consider that as a sitting.
Okay.
So then the second time, so technically this will be my third time already, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to sit for the next one.
Yeah.
I sit for that and the same thing happened. And I was like, oh my God, is this a sign that I'm not supposed to do the bar? Because it was, but that's the thing. By that time, almost all my friends from my classmate already went through. They all passed. So it was just me. It was just me, like, what am I doing? You know, and I feel like, I think it was not so much a pressure from like my parents. Like I was very lucky, like my parents were like, oh, you should finish by now. This is, they didn't say anything like that. It was a pressure from me. Like I had this expectations for myself. Like, hey, by this age, I should have at least completed this. So nothing was going according to my plan.
Oh God.
So I was really upset lah. I think it was that point when I was like in the verge of giving up. When the second time when that happened, I remember just crying, and it was the first time in my life that I actually couldn't get up in the morning. I slept with my mom the whole time. That 1 week I slept with her. I every morning I would get up crying. I told my mom, I don't think I can do this. And she tells me, just do one thing. Just have a shower and that's all you need to do. Just start with one thing at that day. I couldn't, and I think what made it possible and doable was actually my friends. I only had very close friends at that time. They would check in on me, and I was very lucky that Dinesh was there at that time. He would encourage me in a way that I actually believed in myself. It takes a lot for me to when people say nice things about me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure, But I think with Dinesh, he worded it well enough for me to actually see that it is possible, So when I didn't get through, I think it was sometime in April or May, and the next sitting was in August.
Okay.
So we had that 3-month period or whatever, and I told myself, this is my last chance. If I do not get through this final attempt, then it's like my parents' money for the whole entire course just goes down the drain. It really does, because I have that experience and everything, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm not coming back with something that I went for, So added that with that pressure on into sitting for the final paper, it was very difficult. But one thing I realized about myself is that I realized in everything that I've done in my life, I've always loved to kind of imagine myself getting things. So I always visualize myself,
The Secret, huh?
The Secret. My mom gave me that book when I was 16.
I have it,
yeah. Good choice. No, really. I have vision boards in my room. I have affirmations that I write in my book. I believe in it. Whether it is true, whether it really happens, I think there's no harm in believing in it, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote in my book, I wrote this in 2021, I think. Yeah, I wrote in 2021. I said, instead of writing that I will pass the bar, I wrote it as I've passed the bar.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll be graduating, and I wrote everything in present tense and past tense and everything, and I completely just left it. I didn't even think about it. And when you write this kind of things, right, it puts you in a better mood, because you suddenly think to yourself oh my God, actually imagine feeling passing the bar. And so the months passed by, and I know, okay, it's time to get back to studying, because it was very difficult. I couldn't even go back to my room, because that's where I sat for my exam, right? I couldn't go back to my room because I was traumatized by the whole experience. I didn't go to my room for a week plus. I stayed in my friend's house.
My.
It was so bad. I think people never knew all of this, because I've never really shared it with people, because it was so bad, because it's the pressure you put on yourself, and only you know how much of pressure you're in, right?
Yeah.
But eventually when I get back to studying, because reality, I have to study, I sat down, I had this timetable, I completely just went offline. I had like no social media, no Twitter, no Instagram. I barely use Facebook. But I didn't deactivate it. I just deleted those apps on my phone.
Huh.
Completely zero interaction. And what also helped me, I know a lot of people may think that, oh, it's like bad to do that. I think at that point, a lot of people were already getting called to the bar. I muted everyone who was getting called to the bar.
Okay.
I muted everyone. And I feel like at the end of the day, you have to create a safe space for yourself. Sure, people will say like, oh, don't worry, I unmuted all of them.
Okay.
I didn't like leave them. I muted all of them because I already beat myself up for this. And now me allowing myself to see that those kind of things, obviously I'm happy for them, but like makes myself feel bad. I feel like I have the bigger control of it. So I muted everyone. I didn't know anyone who actually got called at the bar.
Okay.
I completely forgot. And until one day I was like, hey, I haven't seen this girl post in a very long time. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot to unmute her. So, but that was one of the things that I did was mute all those people. I deactivated Instagram and Twitter and everything. And I realized, okay, this is now between me and my studies. And I feel like if I could get through 10 over paper, I jolly well get through these 2 papers. Like, it's like, I didn't get through
the pending paper you had was the last 2 papers.
Yes, civil and criminal litigation.
I wonder why the glitch never happened to. Was it unique to you?
What is that?
Or the glitch?
Oh, there were a lot of people who had it also. I think it's just that there were so many people using the website at the same time. So that I think software couldn't handle that amount of people, accessing the website.
I had a friend who had a similar issue as well. She had to reset.
Also did the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is very intense. And it's because you're being watched, it's being recorded. So when you start the exam, you turn on the camera, you show them the surrounding.
Oh, you have to do that?
Yeah. The first time when they conducted online, you show the surrounding. Not supposed to have anything on the wall. And you have to be really like quiet space. It was actually an issue because a lot of people complain that some of these people who sit for the bar, some of them are like single parent or parents, and they live in a house with maybe 8 people. You can't control noise. Like if you're located in a house where like there's ambulance that comes by very often, these are things you can't control, but these are things that are considered like a red flag in your if you're gonna sit for the exam. So that's why there was a lot of issues. So couldn't go bathroom also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it became an issue because there was this one student who had to use the bathroom and he couldn't use the bathroom. So he had to use the bathroom then and there. He had a bucket ready. Yeah, and it's like, this is such a professional paper. It's a very prestigious thing. And then this is how the exams are being conducted.
And it was on camera the entire time.
No. So yeah, so they can't, so that's the thing, So a lot of people, we don't blame the bar standard, bar standard board. It's just that it is the first time I get it. Everybody is like trying to adjust to this whole new online thing, but it was a lot of adjustment. I don't think I was the only one who had glitch. I think there were a lot of other people who had glitches or so. But yeah, so when I sat for the second, so this is the final time, I sat for this paper with nearly, I kid you not, nearly 1,000 over pages of questions done. So the whole 2 weeks before my exam, I just sat down and I did questions after questions after questions. So this time, my approach to questions is not like, okay, C is the answer. I tell myself why A, why B, and why D is wrong. That's how I approach, So now it's like I understand the question. Like, I've done questions that I feel like I want to vomit, It's like that much.
Okay.
So, I did so much of question. I think that really helped because it gave me that confidence, like, okay, I'm ready to do any question because I feel like I did from so many unis, all the unis in the UK. So I went for the exam. And this was one thing that really changed the game for me, which was I spoke to this one girl. Shout out to Roseanne. She's like this girl.
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
Hi, Roseanne.
Yeah. I actually saw her tweeting when she passed her bar, and she said like, she passed the bar and everything. So I reached out to her and I told her like my situation and everything. She was probably the loveliest and the most supportive person ever. She straight away like messaged me on WhatsApp and she like gave me like documents to do, like questions to do and everything. She told me one tip. She said, okay, if your exam starts at 7:30, 7 o'clock, put your books away. That is one thing I've never done in my life. If my exam's at 7:30, you bet 7:25 I'm still reading the notes. I'm sure all of us do that because we feel like, okay, I'm gonna absorb everything as much as I can. Yeah. But that's the thing. When you are in that state, actually nothing is going in your brain because you're already nervous. You're anxious. You're like, you have all this anxiety. So you're walking in the exam hall having this nervousness and anxiety, and you sit down and you be like, okay, I read something. Oh my God, now I can't remember. Oh my God, I'm panicking. So you're starting your exam being really
in a state where you shouldn't be in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that I decided to take the approach that she suggested. So she said at 7 o'clock is your 7:30 is your exam. So from 7 o'clock or maybe 7:10, put your books aside. And just because it's like in like online, so you could just like listen to music before exam, listen to something calming, or just close your eyes or meditate, or just don't have anything in relation to anything about your books or notes. And honestly, when I did that at 7:10 itself, okay, I decided to put my books away. I told my parents, I told my mom, I told my sister, okay, I'm going to start my exam soon, so nobody make any noise. I closed my eyes and I just visualized. I visualized one thing. I visualized that I'm going to enjoy this exam because I've done all the questions. I'm excited to do for this exam. And that was the mindset I went. So when the exam started and I did the question, and the first question, it was a question that I kind of like understood. It was an easy question. So I answered it. And because I started the exam in a very good emotion and a high vibration. It was like that throughout my whole exam. I left.
How long was the exam?
It was 3 hours.
3 hours. That's a very long time.
Yeah. I left the exam room, like my room, telling myself, if I don't pass this, something is wrong with the papers because I've given my all. Okay. Like it was at that point where I felt like I literally gave everything. I gave everything. If you expect someone means that this is not my path, then this barrister, this bar course is really not for me. So that's how I left the room, with that much of confidence, which I've never had throughout the bar course. Okay. So I mean, those are the things that I did that actually really changed my perspective in terms of sitting for papers, in terms of getting in the right state. When people say don't be nervous. Okay, give me solution. Give me solution. Like this was actually a really good solution that she gave me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And he passed.
And I passed. Oh, so I must tell you this. Okay. So because of the UK time difference is 8 hours, right? I am one to never open an exam the same day.
What's that?
So if the exam comes out at 2 o'clock, I will never open at 2 o'clock. I will open later of the day. If exam results come out at 2. Yeah, sorry. Okay. If the exam results comes out at 2 o'clock, I will never open at 2 o'clock. I will open later. I let everybody open. It's okay. I don't want. It's like too much of like anxiety, because So my results came out, I think, on the 15th of October, I think. 15 or 14 of October. I only opened my results on the 16th. So how it is that we each of us have our own student portal, and we type in our student email address, and then we type our password, and then you click on the course. You just scroll all the way down, and they straight away tell you whether you pass, you fail, or whatever. Okay. So I remember this day. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my parents that I'm going to open my results today because I didn't want them to have any fear. I mean, they were not going to be negative, but I just didn't want any like fear or pressure. So the only one who knew about it was Dinesh. Only he knew about it. So I had my laptop there And I had him on my iPad. So I was like, hey, Dean, I'm going to open my exam results. I was like, maybe you want to open for me. Maybe I give you my email address and my password. You open for me.
Okay.
And then he was laughing. He was like, no, you have to do it. You worked so hard. This is your moment. This is your moment to like see it for yourself. And I'm like, wow, this boy got so much of confidence. I mean, it was like my whole time I'm so used to not getting through. So in the back of my mind, there was that 1%, like, what if? If I don't get through this means it's like, what's next, So I type in my email, I type in my password. Then I can feel, like now my heart is beating really fast. And I was like, okay, Dean, you know what? You do it. I can't do it. He's like, no, you're going to do it and you're going to do it together. Okay. So I just type in my email, type in my password, and it just appears. So you just have to scroll all the way down. And I don't know why when it appeared, my hand just immediately scrolled all the way down. And all it said was completed, passed. So I passed both my papers.
Wow.
And I was like, disbelief. I cried, obviously. I was at disbelief. And I was thinking to myself, no way, this is not real. This can't be real. And I was crying and crying. And I was taking my iPad. I was like, do you see this? Am I seeing it wrong? Is this my name and everything? I screenshot like 5 times. In case they change their mind.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, I was so much in the state of shock. And also like, it was that moment I told myself, you know what, literally anything is possible at this point, So after like crying like a good 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, I need to go tell my mom. So, because nobody knows. Nobody knows that I'm opening my results today. So my mom's clinic is like about 5 minutes away from our house. So I took
Your mom's a doctor?
Yeah, she's an orthodontist. Dentist.
Oh, dentist. Okay, okay.
So I went to the clinic. I parked the car. And then the nurses were at the desk and I told them to not tell that I'm here. But my mom knew that month was the month that results were going to come out. She just didn't know what day it was.
Okay.
So I sat in her first room. She was in the second room attending to another patient. So after the patient left, then the nurse called. They were like, doctor, there's another patient here in the first room. She's me. So she comes. Then I think she knows already. Like she looks at me. I said, I asked her this. I said, are you ready to go to the bar? Because I am. And then she was like, oh my God. And she like hugged me. And then she's like, I'm so proud of you and everything. And I started crying again. Then I did the same thing. So I called my dad. At the time my dad was in Singapore because of COVID. So he stayed in Singapore. So I told him the same thing. So everyone was really happy lah. It was a very wholesome day. Yeah, really, it really was a wholesome experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So walk me through the ceremony.
The ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically we wear the gown, the robe, and then we wear this
wig.
Yeah, I know. Actually, people don't like it, but I like it a bit. It's like, it's made out of horsehair, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, okay, on the day of the call, so each student, they are given 2 free tickets. You can request for more, but each of them, by default, you get 2 tickets. So I had my parents, and then other 2 was both my chittis. The call started at 12, but I went to the Middle Temple around 10 to go and get my gown and also the wig. So
were you the only one?
There was another Malaysian there with me. Yeah, I was like, okay, it'll be a bit kiasu but it's because we don't want to wait. It's such a long queue, so I'd rather be the first to go.
Okay.
So I collected my gown. You can buy if you want to buy, but we didn't buy because it's very expensive.
How much?
You don't want to know. It's so expensive. You can easily go to about like 700 pounds.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Pounds,
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So we were like, no, it's okay. We're just gonna
rent it.
It was 36 pounds to rent.
Okay.
It's like I think 1 whole day or something. So we went. I collected. Even at that point, after when I got my results and everything, I still don't believe I passed. When I really believed I passed? When they gave me the week.
Really?
Yeah. At that point, I was like, maybe they're going to say like I did. Even though I have emails confirming that I've passed the bar, it was just like, it was a very surreal experience.
I can relate to this.
I couldn't, you can relate, I couldn't believe it at all that I actually passed the bar.
Wow.
So then they gave us the wig, and then the lady puts the wig for me because I think you need a certain way to put it. The ceremony starts with parents, everybody will sit in the front.
Like a basic graduation
but no
style.
clapping. At the
Oh, okay, I
each
don't
time when a person gets called, nobody claps. We save the clapping till the end. You clap till the end because each time you clap, you're gonna wait for them to stop clapping, and then the next person comes. And so it's
Was
like,
it a requirement? To
it's
not
just
clap?
they wanted to manage it that way.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
like I said, because if you're gonna clap every time a person come, then you must wait for the clapping to go. Because you want to announce the name, so you want
Okay.
them to hear the name. So we all were waited in the waiting area with other students to be barristers. We were waiting in the area, and it was just like, when you look in the room, you just see everyone just happy, and it's a happy that, like, you just know that everybody did it. So we waited in this waiting room, and then we were all arranged to, I think, about in 4, like many rows, but just 4 in one queue.
But it was. I saw the video you posted. It looked like a court.
It was like in a court.
Okay.
So where I had my dining, the long table, it's the same place. It's just they moved the table and everything. It looks like a court, but that was because it's built in the 1800s.
Okay.
That's why it looks like that.
Yeah, okay.
So so we will have like the master of ceremony. Everybody will be there lah. There's 2 people you need to like bow down to, I guess. They'll call your name, you like nod, and then they will say, I think they say it in Welsh if I'm not mistaken. They will say something, and then they like basically call upon you as the barrister of Middle Temple. And then you walk to this area where they have like a book, a guest book, but it's a book that have all the barristers that have signed as a barrister in Middle Temple. So it's like you sign like, I am a barrister. So you just sign a signature, yeah.
Wow.
And they've kept it for like so many years.
Wow.
So it is a very, very monumental moment lah, some would say.
Wow.
So it even at the
It's
whole...
like a ritual almost.
Yeah, almost like cult, no lah.
You sign.
I sacrifice, no lah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
No, but it's not. Yeah, so you basically sign, and then they give you your certificate, and then you come back again to queue up. I remember where I was queuing, and then there was this girl beside me. I think you can tell she was nervous, and she was literally like this much apart from me. And after I knew it was going to be her turn, and then I just like held her hand. And then she just like, and then she held, so it was a very nice, I held her hand, and then she held my hand. Then I was like, I just like whispered, I said, you did it, She was like, yeah, I can't believe it. And then she started crying, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. But I also started crying. It was so nice. I feel like everyone had their own story in like doing the bar course and like completing the bar course. So when she went there, she was already crying. And then the person, like crying, not like, it was just like very emotional crying. And when the person announced it, she like lost it. And then I think everyone in the room just understood it lah. It was definitely a journey. Wow. So she came back. Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. And then after that, we had like photo sessions, and then we took photos, and then just chilling. And then my family got like champagne. So we popped a bottle. We got this like plastic wine glasses. So we just drank. That's it. It was just that. It was nice. It was nice. Then we had lunch that day. Very nice.
So you're currently doing your, what was it?
Chambering.
Chambering, yeah.
Yeah. I finished my chambering in December.
I saw your stories recently. You were at some Johor. What place was
Johor Bar, the Johor Bar Committee. So yeah, each state have their own bar committee.
Okay.
So because I did my chambering in Johor, so I'll be under the Johor Bar Committee lah. They will organize the ethics paper. So basically, when you do your chambering or pupillage, if people don't know what that is, it's like housemanship.
Okay.
As in like you have to do this training period before you get registered as a doctor. So for lawyers, is you have to do the chambering or pupillage 9 months. Pick a firm.
Is it over?
Over already.
So you're a lawyer?
Technically, but I have to. So the reason I had to sit for my ethics now, actually, the ethics was last year, sometime in July or August. I'm not too sure. But I wasn't in Malaysia. I was in UK for my graduation.
Okay.
So that's why I have to sit for it now.
Okay.
But it's compulsory. You have to pass this ethics paper, and you have to do 14 days of legal aid. That means you go to the court and you just assist lah in the legal aid. It's like compulsory before you get called to the bar.
And I'm confused again. What do you mean before you get called?
So we get called to the Malaysian bar.
Oh, okay. That's another one.
There's 2. Sorry, yeah, there's 2. There's 2 bars. So UK bar is one thing.
Okay.
But if you want to be a practicing lawyer in
Here
in Malaysia, you must get called to the local bar, which is
the second time again lah.
Second time again lah. That's if you did in UK, then you do here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like okay, it's part of our ethics in UK where you cannot call yourself a lawyer until you've actually sat for the papers and passed and everything. So you know,
you're waiting for the
I just wait for
right
it because
time.
I always tell my mom, like, even when you are a law graduate, like, you got a degree, you can't call yourself a lawyer. It's like unethical lah. I mean, nobody's gonna like scold you, but it's just like not the way. So like when people say I'm a lawyer, I'm like, no, not yet. Almost.
My family, my extended family, they call me lawyer.
Yeah, same.
I finished
Same.
just with a degree alone. They call me a lawyer.
Yeah.
I find myself correcting them. No, I'm not a lawyer yet.
Yeah.
Just a law degree.
I do that a lot too.
Wow. So you've come so far.
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats. I planned on sitting for CLP.
Okay.
But people are saying it's much harder than bar.
Yes, because I think it's I feel like each lah, it depends. Like for some people, I have friends who sat for CLP. Some got through within the second time. That means they got a conditional pass. That means they've passed. So I think there's 5 subjects.
Okay.
And if to get a conditional pass, you just mustn't get not mustn't lah. It means you got through all papers except for one paper. So the next time you resit, you only resit that one paper. If you didn't get through 2 papers and more,
then you gotta sit all
everything again.
Okay.
So maybe in that sense, it's a bit like challenging lah, more challenging, because it's like you start from scratch again.
Okay.
Whether the bar is easier or the CLP is easier, I feel like it really depends on individual.
I think it seems both are equally.
I think both. I mean, like for someone who doesn't like advocacy, which we have in the UK, they might find it the most tough lah. It's like, how can I ever get through this? But if some people who find like written exam, but I think there's more to it lah. You know, the real plus point of doing the CLP is that you learn Malaysian law.
Yeah.
I mean, even I knew I was going to, like, a lot of people did ask me, like, you know, I did the bar in UK. Am I going to stay in the UK or migrate in the UK?
Why didn't you?
Why
not?
I honestly, it's as simple as sentimental reasons. I feel like I'm very close to my family, not just like my immediate family, like even my extended family. I see a lot of potential in Malaysia. So much, you know.
In what sense?
What sense? Like, honestly, I feel a lot. I also understand if people want to migrate to another country, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, there's enough of them tolerating a lot of things that is happening in the country, and they want what's best for their future or even for their future kids. I completely get it. You asking potential in Malaysia? What kind of potential? Like
individually, like for you. What do you mean?
I believe, like, in order for Malaysia to really be the version that we all hoped for, is that we all should actively do things for the country lah. But it doesn't have to be just the legal system. I feel like as a teacher, as a doctor, as anyone in any profession or non-profession, all of us actually play a role in making this country better, besides politician. I get it that politicians play a role, like in terms of, but actually we control them to a certain extent. We do control. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like each country have their own problems. In UK have their own problems. I mean, I've been there for quite some time to know that certain systems just doesn't work at all. I think I can vouch that the Malaysian healthcare is 100 times better.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising too.
Yeah, in terms of accessibility, how much we can assess, how much it costs to go to a government hospital, how much. In UK, I will tell you one experience I had in Ava. This was in 2017 December. I think my body wasn't used to how cold the weather was, and the year I went was the first year they had snow. After 10 years, you know. So I think like my body wasn't used to the weather and everything.
So this was in Aber?
Yes. Okay. You know that NHS down the hill? Yeah, okay. And my temperature was really hot. Like it was nearly like 38.5. It was like hot, proper hot.
High fever.
Very high. And that time you're a student, right? You want a safe course, so you don't take the cab.
Correct.
So you walked out.
In that cold?
Yeah. I walked out, but I walked out. Then fine. I went there. That time Danish was with me. I asked him, could you just ask the lady at the reception that if I could see a doctor, if I could speak to a doctor, you know, to check on me. And she said, okay, she asked if I have any NHS and everything. I said, yeah, I have. I paid for everything and everything. She said, it would take about 48 hours to process your registration. And then I was like, okay, you can register that, but I still need to see a doctor. You can take it. I have no problem for that, but I'd like to just see a doctor. She said, no, until the registration gets into our system, because I'm a student. So maybe as a local it's different requirements, but as a student, I have to wait through the registration process before I could see a doctor.
Okay.
And I was like, no, but it's an emergency. Like, what if I die, She just said it's just part of our regulation. And I thought to myself, that's like really ridiculous. Like, makes sense. Like, make it make sense. Like, okay, fine. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait.
Okay.
I really am going to wait because I'm not going to I came all the way down here and I'm really not well. And if going back up, at least give me some medication at least or something. I need to see somebody. So eventually I waited I think nearly a whole day. This is from morning and evening only I'm meeting someone.
Okay.
I went to the doctor. I told her whatever my signs and symptoms and everything. She told me what it was and everything. Then I asked her for another thing. Yeah, I also have this issue. She said, you must make another appointment if you want to discuss about other issues. And I was like, what? That is I waited so long and I can't even ask something else. I don't know, maybe it could be another issue that is related to what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you have to come another day. I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
Sounds ridiculous.
Really ridiculous.
Yeah.
In Malaysia, you tell doctor, they will say everything. You say this, say that, and doctor will tell you this, doctor will tell you that, and then sometimes the patient will tell you, no, doctor.
Right. We are so used to doctors being
we are so used to doctors just telling us, giving us as much information as we want to. But here, I'm only limited to one information. That also is I could search on Google and
you have to
find.
wait so long for
Exactly. So, and these are few things that I feel, maybe it's small things may not be a big factor as to why I wouldn't prefer staying there. But yeah, I feel a lot of people maybe like the idea of migrating, Yeah, you do earn better salary, you get more income, but I have a lot of relatives who live abroad.
Oh, okay.
I realized one thing that they miss a lot is family. When you get older, I don't get to hang out with my cousins who were in the overseas. We don't really I hang out more with the cousins who I grew up here in Malaysia. Your kids, but yeah, I feel it depends on what you really prioritize on so my mom is very passionate, she's very patriotic.
Okay.
My mom, every general election, she will go back to her hometown, which is Penang, to vote.
Wow.
She will not change her address back to JB, because she feels that that's where she grew up, and so she'll go back to Penang. And I love that. I know she will take days off and she'll go to Penang, and so I think inherently I've kind of got that.
Yeah.
It was nice. And Dinesh is someone also who shares similar value in terms of things he wants to do for the country. So it's nice. Honestly, it's very nice. I think a lot of people...
Patriotic. Big guy.
Patriotic is, one thing, but we really want to fix the system. I feel there's a lot of things that needs a lot of fine-tuning or even start from scratch. And I feel we can do it. Yes, it's going to take a really long time, but I feel I'm ready.
Yeah, at least we're taking the right steps. Huh?
Yeah.
Talking about the NHS at Aber, I know a friend who had an operation there.
Oh.
Appendix operation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know how it happened, but I remember visiting her. I think she made a request for something, and then she was like, oh, this is not American, something online, so this is not American hospital. We don't do such things, something along those lines.
Oh no.
And they were rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember someone telling me that. But apart from that, Aber was a great place to be.
I love Aber.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, to people who go there first time, maybe they feel it's a very small town. It's maybe a more retired town.
It was very closed off.
Very close. I think you bump into people. It's nice.
It's nice, yeah.
It's very homey, I feel. Especially if you have
very cozy.
Yes.
Right.
If you have a solid group of friends, then it's nice lah. You really enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, we have the beach. I mean,
so the beach, the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a blast there. It was amazing. The 9 months there was amazing.
Yeah.
The pier was great.
Yeah. I think attendance there was really good as well.
Yeah. Every Friday night.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
God, those were the days, man. It was great.
I remember this. I think it was like my last day of exam.
Mm-hmm.
It was sometime in May, I think. We walked down to town, and then we were like, we decided we were chilling in the beach lah, and then we were like, maybe we should like have a little like campfire, bonfire.
Yeah, we did that as well.
So we did that. So we went up, took our stuff, we took food, like the wood, everything, you know. We started, because it was during daylight saving. So the sunset, daylight saving is usually what the sunset was set around like 10 p.m. It's still bright, what? 9 o'clock, it was still very bright, kind of thing. So we were there at the campfire. We were just like singing, talking songs and talking and singing songs and everything. And then 9 p.m. came. And then we were like, okay lah, we will leave in half an hour. Then we were like, okay, we'll leave in half an hour. 10 p.m. Okay lah, not that dark, still bright. We're chilling. Then we all look at each other. Then we all had the same as, you know what, let's just stay overnight by the beach. And then we all did. We stayed until like 4 in the morning. And then because it's daylight saving, it gets dark around 11. Then around 4 like that, it becomes bright again.
Towards the end, right, when I was in Aber, towards the end I was a bit alone already. Because towards the end, I got alone.
Okay.
Because like everyone formed their own group, their own clique, and towards the end, I felt a bit left out.
Okay.
So the entire time, you know, just go for a walk alone. I was doing I think it's around the time when the movie came out. What movie was it? The Avengers Endgame. Endgame.
Your time maybe it was there. When we went, it was Black Panther.
So it was Endgame, I think. I went and watched it because I didn't know who to call, who to ask. Yeah, so it was a bit
different experience.
Yeah,
but I feel like, I feel like a lot of people think, like when I started my college lah, and when I was doing my A-levels, I went in. My mom signed me up in January itself. Like everyone had like 3 months break before SPM results. You know, when you finish SPM that year and then the next year, the 3 months, you have that break. Last time, before COVID, you know, where you have to wait for results and then you join uni. But my parents signed me up in college January itself. So I went to college in KL. So like I didn't really have any friends. I didn't come with any friends. I didn't like know anyone who was doing A-levels at the time. So you start the course with a big group of friends. It's a very normal thing to do. You know, everybody's your friend, everybody's friendly, everybody's nice. And then from a really big group of friends, you then come down to like 5. And then in that 5, you are like, okay, I get it. Okay, we're nice and everything. And then you just come down to like 2 or 1. Yeah, and that was like my A-levels experience. And I think it's a very normal experience in uni. You have days.
You start off with a huge group and then it just comes down.
It's not filtering, and it's not a bad thing, honestly. I think where I was most like alone per se was during the bar course, because when I was in Aber, I was with a group of friends, and then when I was doing the bar, I only had one of my friends who was doing the bar with me, but she was also in Birmingham but in a different university. So I was alone most of the time. I would do my grocery shopping alone. I would walk to town alone, but I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because
You're an introvert, no?
Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
That's the first one I want to guess. Actually, a lot of people would say that I'm an extrovert, like right off the bat. But that's because most people see me in a setting where I am extroverted.
Yeah, like now.
Like now, you know. But there are moments when I'm very like quiet.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually nobody would believe me. All my friends would tupper at me if I tell them that I'm quiet. Nobody will believe, but I am. There are moments when I'm really quiet. Like you can ask my family. Like when I'm at home, like obviously I talk and everything, but I can be in my room the whole day. Like I love being in my room. I don't find like, oh my god, I must meet people or I must talk to people. No, I can go through a day having the most minimal conversation.
I remember being in Aber. There was one point towards the end, like I said, everyone was busy doing their own thing.
Yeah.
After the exams, Tarshini, I was with Tarshini the entire time. She had a boyfriend then. She was busy.
Okay. So I think I seen her boyfriend before at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was off. She went off to London that time.
Oh, okay.
So I was left alone a bit lah. And I didn't really feel like I fit in with the rest of the gang, the cool people.
Oh, okay.
So I was just left alone, and I felt like it's fine lah.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, right, I think you would, at the end of the day, yes, it was going towards like, it was depressing being alone, didn't have someone that you could like share any conversation with. But I feel like you would much rather that than be with someone who you can't be yourself or who have a complete different mindset that you. And I think last year, was it last year? Yeah, a year before, I've actually been filtering out people in my life. Yeah, it's like my favorite thing to do. Let me tell you that.
How do you do it?
I will start with
Social media.
Yeah, social media is the first thing I do.
Unfollow.
No, I don't just I unfollow. I remove as a like follower. So that means they don't even follow me. So
wow,
yeah,
that's brutal.
Yeah. If I don't enjoy your company, friends, I don't see why you would need my company or so on. Because I feel like if you unfollow someone and then they still follow you, it's a bit like short sendiri, right? Like I remove you as a follower. You don't have to follow me. I don't follow you. I've done that, and I thought to myself like, I don't need to be friends with people for the sake of being friends. Just because you've been friends for like 5 years, 10 years.
Dude, that's a long time.
Yeah, no, but if like in those 5 years, 10 years, I see myself actually like we've had.
I mean, you grow apart. Right?
You grow apart. Yeah, it's not like I hate you, I dislike you. It's just that we grow apart. Anymore. Nothing in common. I don't. Yeah. You and I just we don't. I don't see us seeing things eye to eye, or that we just drift apart. And I think it's part of human life that we drift apart and people grow because each experiences changes us. So
wow.
I've done that. Like I can tell you like people that I can really trust with my life and everything is like within less than a hand. And you would think that I have so many friends, but I have people that I know of, but they're not like my friends. I wouldn't consider them my friends because I place value in friendship. Like my life revolves around friendship. I think it's very important, friendship, even relationship. I think in relationship, you must have a friendship first.
Correct.
Before, I think a lot of people make the mistakes, like, you know, they like someone and then they're just like, okay, sure, I'm going to be together with this guy or be together with this girl. I think what works well is that if you're a friend with a person, you like that person. I tell Dinesh this also. I said, you know, Dane, I actually just like you. You're like a nice guy. You're like a solid dude. Like I like you as a friend. And I think that it comes back down to that friendship we have as friends.
Okay.
You know, before it being like a relationship.
A romantic relationship.
Because that should be the foundation.
Correct. I agree with you.
So I do believe people do need friends. You need human interaction. You can't live alone.
Correct.
Without
I learned that when I was in ABA. I learned that. I thought, you know what, I could do this.
Yeah, no, you need friends. Like 1 or 2. You don't have to have a big group. Yeah. Just 1 or 2.
Just saying hi and hello.
Yeah.
Just like basic interaction would do a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your Europe tour.
My Europe tour, okay.
What are the places you visited?
Okay, so we traveled to Europe.
The first time you traveled.
The first time. Yeah. Okay, like Europe with my friends, I think I'll consider that.
Okay.
We went to Budapest, which is in Hungary. Budapest, Vienna, Prague, Brussels, Milan, Rome, and Barcelona.
That's a lot of places.
That's a lot of places. Yeah, a lot of planning. My experience. Okay, I think we went for this Europe tour trip, everything for 2 weeks, I think. We really planned in a sense that we had the Google Maps open. We looked where were these locations located at.
Okay.
So to see whether we are going in a proper flow lah. No point we go here and then we go here and then we come back here again.
Correct.
So we first discussed where we're going to go first. Then we decided from this area to this point. So like from Budapest to Vienna. We took a bus. We don't need to take a flight, nothing. We just took a bus. So we took a bus. So certain areas we could take a bus, certain areas we could take a flight. So we opt for that. This is my first time traveling in like with friends, you know.
Okay.
It really does show people's character, you know. I am someone who likes to be early.
What is that?
Likes to be early.
Early, okay.
So if my...
I don't think I can travel with you.
Yeah. Oh my God. If my train is at 8 in the morning, I will be in the station around 7:20.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that was like consider like okay only. No, if you give me a chance, I like to be there at 7 o'clock. Because I would rather be in the station around 7 o'clock. We can have breakfast there or drink coffee, whatever, and then take our time and go to the station. But I cannot. If the bus is at 8 o'clock and then we leave the house at 7:30, I will like die. I cannot. Okay. I cannot like travel in a rush and anxiety because first thing I always fear is I'm like I left something at home, I forgot to bring this, or like, I hate to rush.
Okay.
But in our trip, there's one trip that we made. I think it was in London. I think where we were late for everything. We were like chasing the tubes after. We keep chasing them. We were always late. Sometimes we even had to patah balik because they were in a different platform.
Okay.
To a point that we name our group as Patah Balik because we always like, you know. So, but anyway, so with the Europe tour, we really had to plan. We had to plan because I think we went in I would say reasonably bigger group.
So how many of you?
I think I would say maybe about 7.
That's a big group.
Yeah, about 7 I would say. I could be wrong. But it's definitely more than 5. It's more than 5, but around 7 I guess. We didn't stay in any hotels. Because first of all, we stayed in Airbnb.
Airbnb, okay. So
this is the thing, when you're traveling in Europe, if you're going to spend money in staying in town, it will cost more, which is good. You can cut costs in traveling. I mean, you want to spend money on like transport because you're already in town. You see the city center a lot.
You could just walk around.
But if you're going to stay somewhere out of town, which is way cheaper, which is most of the time, you will spend more on transportation. So we do our planning in terms of what can we see more in that city?
What's more convenient?
Yeah. So that was definitely one thing we took into account. So the reason we stayed in Airbnb was because we were all of us only were allowed like one carry-on luggage.
Okay.
Like the cabin bag. 10 days, how much can you put in that one cabin bag?
Yeah.
So we had to reuse clothes. So Airbnb used to provide like washing machine and dryer. So that was the only time, that was the reason why we picked Airbnb. So, and it's also good because Airbnb, you can say like you are booking for 4 people. And then actually
just cram a lot of people.
Because at the end of the day, right, you're going to a country, you want to know, you're not going to spend most of the time in the Airbnb.
Correct.
The only time you're going to be there is to shower and sleep. Okay, maybe if some days you feel like a bit tired, you want to like chill in a bit, can. But we're going to be outdoor more. So there's no point us spending in a bigger place where we don't get to enjoy the place.
Correct.
So, I mean, and not everyone was like very picky. Oh, I must sleep on the bed. People were fine crashing on the sofa, on the floor. As long as they got a pillow. And like, we were all very accommodating in that sense. I think if there's one point we had like, there was only like 4 bunk beds, I think. And then this was in I think somewhere in Vienna, I think. Bunk beds and then sofa, like it was just some sharing one. It was fine. So that was one thing we took into account. And we took into account the flights. So we flew with a budget airline.
Okay.
Ryanair. Okay.
Yeah.
Tickets was mad cheap lah. They were like £16.
Wow.
Yeah, 16 to go from one country to another country. It's like what? Less than 100 ringgit or so to fly from like to Italy or somewhere. So because of how cheap certain flight tickets were, that's when we also planned our days and our touch wood lah, because we made this planning way before, because it was during summer when we traveled. So we planned, I think sometime earlier on, is maybe like March or if I'm not wrong, we planned around March. So tickets were way cheaper. So we went so our first place was in Budapest. You know the biggest joke? The day we flew off was the day that our year 3 results were coming out. So can you imagine? You want to go for this Europe holiday and then they decide to
announce your results.
Yeah. So
how was the experience?
So we were it was definitely one experience lah. We were camping in Birmingham Airport because you know right, there's no airport in Eber. So we were camping there because our flight was in the morning. And then there was no train during that morning. So we came the night before from Eber. So we were just chilling in Costa Coffee and everything. But we knew that our results were going to come out.
Did you check or did you just put it aside?
You would think that I would actually wait. But I was like, our flight, I can't remember the timing of the flight lah. But then I think they were like, they said the exam results will come out in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then I think my friend at the time, he was just like, just simply log in lah to see. This is when we already boarded on the plane, you know.
Okay.
And then he said results are out. And I was like, okay, we are literally going to take off in like few minutes and the results are out. This is still in the morning, you know.
Okay.
They said results going to come out in the afternoon. I was like, oh my God. Now that I know results are out and we're going to land, I need to know my results.
Yeah. Lah.
So I was like, okay lah, never mind lah. I'll just go and log in lah. So plane gonna take off, Before that, no internet, right? After that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just type and search. And it came on, I saw. I was like, okay, not bad. And I got second upper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay lah, it's good. I think most of us also got the results. So we were like happy. But of all days.
So this was your final results.
Yeah.
This was not a semester results.
No,
Oh,
it was
God,
our
I
final
remember.
year 3.
Okay,
To decide what class do we graduate in.
Oh, second upper. That's a very good
Yeah.
one.
So and then we were like, okay. I was like, okay lah. At least we can.
So that put you in the mood lah.
Like, okay lah, I deserve this holiday. Like this is meant to happen. So we celebrated with a good meal.
Okay.
We had a nice dinner. We actually, when we landed in Budapest, we met up with other friends. They were from different uni. One was from in Liverpool and one is from Oxford Brook. So they were there already. So then we had our meal, and then just like most of the places we walk lah. Nobody really takes the cab. The only time we probably like took a cab is if it was raining or it was really far, which I don't think it was because it's during the summer. So Budapest was okay. That's the thing. Our Europe trip. The reason why we can go to many places was because we limited the amount of days we could go. So certain days was just 2 days, like 2 nights. Certain days was
1 night.
1 night, depending. We see what we can do on that day.
Okay. Did you ever visit Venice?
Yeah.
How was it? How was the experience there?
Okay, Venice. So I like music a lot. I play the piano. So I told Dinesh that I want to go for like an orchestra to see them perform.
Okay.
So there was someone who was actually, they were having a show that day in the evening. So both Din and I went for that show. Vienna was very, there was a lot of flowers. I remember.
You talking about Vienna?
Yeah.
I said Venice.
Oh, you said Venice.
Venice.
Sorry. I thought you said Vienna.
I was like wondering.
Oh.
Orchestra in Venice. Where
Sorry.
is this?
Wrong country.
Okay.
I went to Venice. Yeah, I went to Venice with my sister.
How was it?
How was it? It was horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone was...
It's... Okay, I feel like a really overrated place is
Correct.
Paris and Venice. I think like people... I think it's because of the... it's because of the movies people say and music videos.
Right.
It's really overrated. Like, it smells, it's dirty, it's crowded. Nothing.
Right.
There's nothing.
I remember being in Venice. It was so hot. It was uncomfortably hot.
Yeah. I think I also went during summer.
I knew it was summer going
Yeah.
to Venice. I knew. But I didn't expect that level of heat.
Yeah. It was
uncomfortable. And I remember being like few shades darker
yeah.
in all the pictures. I was like, who's this guy?
Who's this new person?
Man.
Yeah. Venice.
It burned.
It really was. We did a smart thing. My sister and I, we went, I think this was in 2018, I think. No, 2019. My sister and I went to Venice, Florence, and Pisa. So first place we went is Venice. One thing now when I travel before, I watch so many YouTube videos to hear their tips and tricks and do's and don'ts. And a lot of people said, if you're going to go to Venice, don't stay in Venice. That means you don't book your Airbnb in Venice. Don't book your hotel in Venice. Book somewhere like a station away from Venice, which is what we did. So we booked our hotel, because just me and my sister. We booked our hotel like a station away. That means like if it's in KL, like the KL Central, we booked maybe like Pasar Seni station. So we booked a station away before.
Okay.
Until we reached Venice, we realized how compact it was. To travel, you need to go on that boat, that super boat or whatever, the gondola, and then you have a timing, what time you can go.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, oh my god, I can't imagine dragging my luggages in this place just to find where to stay. So it was good. So when we came to Venice, it was purely just like visiting, just like visit the place, have meal, just jalan-jalan.
Yeah. That was
a good planning, and I would recommend anybody who wants to go to Venice, just...
No, I wouldn't.
If you do,
don't go.
I feel like anybody, even Paris also, like people, okay, I get it, it's the Eiffel Tower, and I get it's a one-time experience, but don't set your expectation high.
I had a very high expectations for Venice.
Really, huh?
Yeah, I expected the place
What
to be
movie you
beautiful.
watched it?
The Tourist. I watched it. I was like, oh my god, this place really looks good, classy,
Yeah, like nice. You feel... I mean, Italy is a very nice place. I love Italy. Compared to France, I love Italy a lot. But Venice, It's not a place. But anyway, yeah, you're saying about your experience in Venice.
It was hot. I remember my skin was burning.
Yeah.
And I hated posing for the photos there, and I never posted any pictures I
Really?
took in Venice because I did not look good.
Actually, now that you said it, right, most of my photos are scenery.
Right,
Yeah,
scenery.
it's not really me inside.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I will never go again, and I'll never recommend the place to anyone. Yeah. So let's get back to Vienna.
Okay, we get back to Vienna.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went to
Orchestra.
Orchestra.
Okay.
It was nice. I think when I went, it was my first proper orchestra it's like another country performing. You hear them play the piano. We had a dancer. We had people playing the violin. It was very beautiful lah. I think.
Wow.
Sunny, I felt like I was in a movie.
Oh, really? Nice.
Felt Unila. So that was that. And then we went to Prague. That one, I don't know whether we took a bus or not. I feel like we did take a bus to Prague. Most of the places we did take a bus.
What's
Then,
in Prague?
honestly, now you ask me, I only can think of the Prague Castle. But I feel like we ate something good there, but I can't remember what was it that we ate. Also, one more thing, like people who want to go for like Europe tour, a lot of the shops do close quite early. One thing you can really rely on is the kebabs lah. They will definitely fill you up. Oh, I do have one story that I can share with you when we reached Milan. So
Okay.
I think we took a flight when we reached Milan, or a bus. I'm not sure. I think it's a flight lah. So where the station was located and where our Airbnb was really far. Okay. So here's the thing. I think when we booked our Airbnb, we always lessen the number of people staying in the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So because we said that, so the lady said, no man, she will offer to pick us up.
Oh God.
Because it's quite far.
Yeah.
We're like, we didn't think much of it. And then the biggest joke about this Milan station is that we came out and then she said she's already out there, but then it was very confusing lah. It was like we made a circle, then we came back to the same place. It was like so confusing. So she came, then I think she realized there was many people. She said, okay, take another cab lah.
Okay.
So we took a cab and then we went to the place, and we reached there probably like I think 9:30 p.m. lah. Definitely later in the night. And this was like in a housing area.
Okay.
And we are dead hungry. I genuinely feel like we were so hungry that we could just eat a goat. We were like that hungry. We were so hungry. And then some of the girls were like, okay, we will stay back in the house. Just me and a few of my friends. We will go out and we will get the food lah. So I think it was me. I think maybe about 2 other friends or 4. I think 4 of us lah.
Okay.
2 girls, 2 boys. I think we went to get food because we're getting food for everybody. Right? So we walked. Our holy grail was Google Maps lah. We live with Google Maps. Google Maps really helped us a lot. So we walked and then we went to this kebab place lah. So we asked first, could we have like a chicken kebab? He didn't understand. So
he sells kebab, right?
Yeah, he didn't understand.
Okay.
Like he didn't understand. But so we did lah chicken, and then he made a sound of a cow. Then we're like, no, we were like, he still didn't understand. But I think he said that we ran out of chicken, no more chicken, so maybe only got like cow beef, So we're like, okay, because none of us eat beef lah. So we're like, okay, fine. So
I
we
eat
went.
beef.
Oh yes, you do.
Yeah.
So I don't lah. So I was
Okay.
like, I can't eat lah. So we went to a bar, like a bar that was run by this Chinese couple. So we went, and then we asked her. We said, "Do you have any food that we can buy?" All in English now. She's like, "Oh no, no food, no more food," and like she like used very limited like English to speak to us.
Okay.
No food, close shop, closing time, kitchen closed, everything she said to imply there is zero food. But that was the only shop that was actually like open in that would sell food. Then I was like, okay, we've walked so far. We walked so far, and then it's like we're coming back empty-handed. I will be angry. Everybody will be frustrated. Everybody will be thinking that we're going to come back home with food. Actually, we'd come back home with nothing. So I was like, then I asked this lady in Chinese.
You speak Mandarin?
Yeah, I went to Chinese school.
Oh God, wow.
So I asked her in Chinese. I said, actually, we're really hungry. Even if you have anything, so we don't mind like just buying something small. because she was so taken up that I could speak Mandarin,
Uh-huh.
she gave me a whole menu that they had. She said, oh yeah, we have this pizza, we have this, we have that. I was like,
This was the very same lady
same
that said
lady.
no.
Yeah, that's it. No, I'm thinking to myself, I'm the same person 1 minute ago.
Oh, God.
All I did was I spoke
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Huh.
She was so happy that I spoke in Mandarin. So she was like, yeah, you can whatever pizza you want. So we waited 15 minutes and they were making the pizza. I mean, the pizza wasn't the greatest, but it was enough for us to fill our stomach. But it was like,
Oh, that.
yeah, I felt so bad. I felt like, what if people who actually didn't converse
Chinese.
in that language
Yeah.
and then you just wouldn't serve them?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like till date, like my friends would say, Sanggi, you saved our life, you know,
Yeah,
because
you did.
yeah, it was like, yeah.
Good
No, I
one.
went to a Chinese primary school.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, just primary only.
So you speak fluent Mandarin?
Okay, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I would say yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do. I mean, I do speak Mandarin because I do. When I have my Chinese friend, I speak to them in Mandarin.
Oh, wow.
Because I want to like make sure I
I
can
didn't
speak
know that.
Mandarin. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I went to a Chinese kindergarten.
Huh.
And then from then I told my mom like, I would like to be in a Chinese school, not knowing what to expect in a Chinese school. So,
Wow.
so mom just put
It's
me
a
lah.
good thing lah. I went to a Tamil school. So.
It's good. You know what? For the record, like, I know this is a Tamil podcast, but I speak in English most of the time.
Yeah.
I really admire people who speak fluent Tamil
Uh-huh.
and like read and write. Like I love seeing people speak Tamil a lot. Like, my parents can understand Tamil. My dad took Tamil for STPM.
Ah.
My sister can speak,
Okay.
read slow lah, but she can lah. Okay, so my dad did actually give me Tamil classes when I was
okay.
like 4 years old.
But do you speak Tamil though?
I can speak,
But
but
not
it's
as
so
good.
broken.
Okay.
கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு.
Okay, that's good.
It's so bad
That's
sometimes.
good.
Yeah. So like, my dad used to give us Tamil classes. I was 4 years old. Of course, I'm not going to like pay attention. So then he just never gave me classes. So before, I think it was
So
sometime
what language do you guys speak at home? English.
English.
Ah.
We watch Tamil movies, everything. My dad, my sister, they first day first show type of people.
Okay, so you understand Tamil. lah. We just can't speak it.
Yeah,
lah.
it's not to say can't, because I feel like, because with Tamil, certain words, if you don't say it properly, it's like rude, like ni, neenga.
Correct.
So one time I called my grandmother, I said
Ni.
ni. but then everyone knew that I was like learning. Then everybody laughed lah, but I felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, how dare I call Pati ni? So then now everything I call everybody. I say
Neenga.
ninga.
Safe.
Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like so everyone could speak like Tamil and can understand Tamil and everything. And I took up Tamil classes sometime 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, because I
That's
told
very
you.
recent.
Huh?
2 years is
Yeah.
quite
It was
recent.
during COVID time lah.
Quite recent, yeah.
Then it was just before my bar exam. So during my bar exam, then I took a break. I'm yet to continue lah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do you learn in the Tamil class?
We learn like this, like how to sentence, like and
Oh.
say, yeah.
Like the elementary stuff.
Yeah, don't make fun lah. Yeah lah, elementary stuff, know.
Okay.
And like, yeah, start from the e
okay.
I
Okay.
yeah. So we do the basic, and then
Okay.
so my teacher at that time will give a sentence in English, and I will
Okay.
translate it in Tamil.
In Tamil. Can you do one here right now?
No, it's so I'll tell you one very embarrassing thing.
Okay.
One of the sentence was old people something. You know what I said or not?
Old people something.
They say the word old people. He gave me a sentence, and in that sentence had the word old people something.
Did you say palaya alunga?
Yeah, at least aluga. I said palaya alu. Then he laughed, and I was so confused. What's so funny?
Wow.
It was so bad.
That's like a very literal translation.
Direct
Yeah.
translation. But I'm improving, okay? Like I am trying. I am making the conscious effort to speak, I think the biggest struggle is a lot of these non-Tamil speaking people who want to actually learn how to speak Tamil, whenever they do, they get
laughed at.
Yeah, they get made fun of. They get discouraged. But then they get discouraged by the same set of people who complain about how Indians don't want to speak Tamil. You get what I mean or not? It's the same people who say, yeah, nowadays Indians don't want to embrace. I know there are some people who are not proud, but there are some people who really want to learn. But these are the people who, every time when you want to say something in Tamil, they will say, oh, you don't speak in Tamil, you're killing Tamil. Yeah, you know, and then it's like, how are you going to make them speak more if you're going to, even though I know it's a joke or teasing lah, but you need to at least encourage them or something. So
Correct.
So I feel lah.
பழைய ஆளுங்க.
I know.
So are you still attending these classes?
No, I have to get back into classes.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Chinese school.
Yeah.
So, and then my mom put me in a normal kindergarten, but it was a Chinese kindergarten. The reason she put me in the kindergarten early, as in like I think my classes was in the afternoon, but she put me in the kindergarten early in the morning because she has to go to work. So when she sent me the class in the morning, it was during Chinese class. So I was actually in a Chinese classroom. That was when I was like, oh, okay, I actually don't mind Chinese. I like it and enjoy it. So
do you know how to write?
Read, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So and then my mom decided to put me in a Chinese school in Kepuntela, Funyu 1.
Kebunte.
Yeah. So and then it was struggle lah. It was a struggle because I was the only Indian girl in my whole form. That means on the form 1, standard 1, I was the only Indian girl. Everyone was Chinese. Nobody could speak like English fluently. I only had one friend that could speak in English. She's still my friend. We still keep in touch until today. Yeah.
Great.
So it was a big transition lah for me to like get used to it. I was so used to like Mandarin and everything that I used to watch Chinese drama, Chinese movie. I listen to Chinese songs. I'll buy the CD from Pasar Malam and I'll put it in the car and everybody in my house have to listen to the song. I will sing. I'll make them sing with me. It was hardcore like that.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew this. Never expected you.
Yeah. So when I wanted to go to a Chinese secondary school, my mom said, she said no. She said no because she said, I want you to enjoy your secondary school. She said because she knows she knows that Chinese secondary school
Can be tough?
Can be tough.
Okay.
And they are full on studying. They are I think 6 days class from Monday till Saturday.
Okay.
And she said I want you to enjoy your secondary school. So she put me in a government school.
Government school. And how was that?
Oh, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I was in an all-girls school lah.
Okay.
I was in an all-girls school, which is really nice. I think like being in a girls' school is very empowering. Yeah, you feel more like liberated lah, at least for me. I had really like nice friends. I still keep in touch with my high school friends up to today, you know. And what I really like about my school is that, you know, in like our prefectorial board, we have the head prefect, assistant and second assistant.
Okay.
It has been known for our school that in these 3 position, we must have one Indian, one Chinese and one Malay.
Oh, okay.
So you will never be like it's one race that is conquering all this post. Like no, it's always in rotation.
Okay, that's great.
So my year was the first year they had the first Indian head girl.
Oh wow.
So which was me.
Wow.
So it was nice. It was nice because it was like you want to do something for the school, you know, and my school have always been given me, how do you say?
Which school was this?
Seta.
Where is this?
Tunamina. You know EC?
Tunamina.
Yeah, you know English College? Up on the hill.
Okay.
There is the school there. Nobody knows. It's up on the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all girls school.
All girls school. Yeah.
You know what? Let's move on to your SanggiTV.
Okay. Still existing.
When did you start SanggiTV, your YouTube channel?
When?
I remember you started with vlogs, right?
I had my YouTube back in secondary school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a nice name, SanggiTV.
I'll tell you how that name came. So, you know Snapchat? The app Snapchat people use. At that time, 2016, I was super like on it. Like I used to vlog like my daily
On
going
Snapchat.
on Snapchat. And people would watch, okay? People would watch. People would like be entertained. Like I have people, like my friends messaging me, they'd be like, oh my God, Sanggi, after a long day, I'll just like watch your vlogs as though like it's like a vlog. But just me like,
In your stories.
in my stories, like making fun of my friends, like an actual story, like I would do, so much effort. I don't even know how I got to do all that. I used to make it entertaining lah, make fun and everything. So there was this one of my senior at the time. He out of nowhere just called me SanggiTV because of my Snapchat. I was like, okay lah, I don't mind SanggiTV. Then that's when I decided to change my YouTube name to SanggiTV.
So before that was?
It's just Sangghamitra. And I was thinking myself, it's too long. Nobody's going to be able to spell it. So
That was very nice, a catchy name. SanggiTV.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just
I can do
thinking,
that with my name.
why not?
Gautam TV.
If you keep saying it, it will stuck. It will stick
Yeah,
to
but
you.
yours is like a shortened version of your name and then TV.
Yeah.
So
I've been
some-
wanting to change my name, this
Really?
year. Yeah,
Why?
I've actually, funny that you brought up my YouTube because I've actually privatized all my videos.
Really?
I only have like 5 videos on my channel
Huh.
because I'm starting like a new format of videos that I'm gonna upload.
Don't tell me you're going to change the name.
I am.
What's the name? Maybe you can.
I've already changed it already a bit.
What's the
But
name?
the main name is called SanggiTV.
Uh-huh.
But the ID is a different name.
Which is? Do you want to tell us?
Anybody can search and see.
Tell lah. I don't know.
It's called Center Seat Film Production.
Center.
Center Seat. When you sit down.
Oh,
sit?
Center Sit.
Film production.
Wow. So you're starting a film production.
Yeah, just on my own lah.
Oh, wow.
Just
Wow. that's doing-
one man show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice
so.
name. Center Seat.
But maybe I will keep the SanggiTV for sentimental reasons. Who knows?
Yeah. It's catchy. You should keep it.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
No, but I started YouTube way back in 2012. I posted an original song that I wrote.
You sing?
No. Don't say you sing. Just say I sang. And I sing is a very story because I don't think I can sing. I just once sang before.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to post videos on my Facebook. That time Facebook was very popular. And then I have like 10 likes and I think I'm like what? Mariah Carey, like superstar. My friend resharing it. We are damn great.
Okay.
Then I was like, okay lah, I should because Justin Bieber posted it on YouTube. Maybe I should post on YouTube. So I post on YouTube lah. Nobody really watched it
Was
lah.
it a cover?
Original. I wrote.
Original song.
I think the song is
Is
called.
the video still available?
Yeah, I let y'all to watch. Yeah, it's still available.
Okay, I'll put the
Don't.
link below.
It's so cringy. I
Really?
like. Oh my god. When I see that video, I like. Oh my gosh. I'm very close to like delete it or like private. I was like, you know what? Never mind. Let people just watch.
How many views do you have?
That time now it's about only 500 lah at that time. It was very new because I private it for such a
So
long
long,
time.
yeah.
Only recently
So what song was it? What was the song about?
it's called All a Girl Could Have or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Somebody,
What was the inspiration then?
nothing. I just wrote. You know how I wrote that song or not? I just write like whatever words that sounds catchy. Then only I play the piano. I say okay, maybe something. So yeah, that was my first video lah.
Yeah, but I want to talk about your recent video you did with Machine. I forgot.
Okay,
Yeah, it was amazing.
Really?
It was amazing. The way it was written,
Okay.
and I liked the visuals, and your vocals.
Oh.
The way it had a filter on, sounded vintage.
Yeah, it sounds like on a phone.
It really added to the to the video, the mood. It was really great. So how did you did they approach you or
Okay, so Machino is this local brand.
is it Machino or
Okay, I'm probably butchering it. So it's Machino.
Machino,
Machino.
okay.
It's Machino. I think it's Machino.
what did they do again? Shoes.
Shoes,
Okay.
like heels, and like they come up with different
Local brand.
local brand.
Okay.
I think what makes their shoes and heels very unique is that they have a insole. That means it's like a cushion in their heels.
Okay.
Usually when girls wear high heels, it's very uncomfortable, right? Because it's like painful and everything. But because they are handmade, they handmade. It's not like a
Mass
machine doing.
produced.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
handmade. Each shoes are handmade. you feel very comfortable. It's like walking on clouds like that.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's what they're known for.
Okay.
They actually approached me last year for Deepavali, during their Deepavali campaign. They
Okay.
gave me a pair of shoes, like a pair of heels.
Uh-huh.
It was like a nice latte color, you know, like
The one that you featured in your video?
no, it was before.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. And you know what? I've been loving their shoes for such a long time. And the timing, like I said, the timing of them reaching out to me is crazy.
Okay.
That's why I really believe in this, like the law of attraction and everything.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. They just said they want to send. They didn't ask me to like, oh, must do they didn't say anything like that. They just, you know, so I was like, and naturally when local businesses reach out to me, usually I either offer to pay for something else, because I feel bad like they're giving me something for free.
Okay.
So the least I can do is support them.
This is during Deepavali time.
So I decided to make a video. And I took photos and everything. And
Okay.
then there's one thing I've always noticed about me is that I don't like to take, like, if people send me stuff, I don't like to just hold the product and then post. It's very not my style.
Yeah.
I feel like I must put,
unimaginative.
yeah, I feel like even if you use that product, like just say like, okay, a soap maybe, you know, you just wash your hand with it is something. Then you holding the soap and then you posing with the soap. But then again, a lot of depends, because I feel like some companies want your face with the product. So they
correct.
want to know that you are in alliance with this product. So maybe
correct.
it depends on what companies want.
Yeah.
So when they approached me last time, I was really like mind blown. I was like, oh my God, they noticed me, you know? So I was like, okay. Then I personally went and bought 2 pairs of shoes from them on my own, because I really like their design and everything. Then this year, they actually approached me for their Valentine's campaign.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, this is, we want you to be part of this campaign.
Okay.
All you have to do is just end this video with this particular sentence and then just post a reel. That's about it.
And what was the sentence again?
My journey with love.
Ah.
Something like that. Or my journey of love or something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, sure.
So there was no other requirements from their end.
They just said to post it or maybe on this particular day. That's it.
Okay. So you had to show them the video beforehand?
Just like, yeah, just about day before. Just the only thing they wanted from the video was for me to actually show the shoes lah. You know, like some people, they won't even really show the shoes. So they want to make sure that I feature the shoe and that I actually said that sentence. So they gave me the most creative freedom, I would say.
Yeah, I can see.
I think I work well with that. Too many requirements and I'm like, I feel very rigid, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
So when they told me something about ending the sentence with this, I'm like, okay, I got it, because I love writing. I enjoy writing.
So you wrote it.
Yeah, everything was.
It was nice. It was really good.
It was
really good.
all handwritten lah. Like, I mean, like self-thought of what to write.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking to myself, okay, nowadays the common theme about Valentine's is always about couples, you know, more or less friendship, like Valentine's to be celebrated. And I feel like there are people who don't have relationship, there are people who don't have friends.
No, I have friends.
Yeah, your friends are gonna be like, "Hey, I'm not your friend." I don't know.
Okay.
There are people who don't have relationships, who don't have like proper good friends, and then some of them are on their own on Valentine's Day.
Correct.
And it can feel lonely. You know, it can feel lonely, and I wanted to write more to that emotions to relate to people who feel like, you know what, I can feel like I don't feel like loved. So I think it's really important for you to not need other people to love you. You need to actually really love yourself.
From within.
From within. It's very difficult. People say like, oh, love yourself. But how? Like, how do you love yourself? Like, I can tell you 10 things that I don't like about me. How to love all these 10 things. Maybe one thing only I like about me. So it's a very difficult process.
Correct.
So usually how I structure and how I do this kind of thing is I actually write. I write what I want to write. It's more into like a poetry format lah. So, but that's the thing about poetry. There is no strict rules. Like,
Correct.
oh, if you end with this word, you must rhyme with nothing. It's just more of a feeling. And what makes it even more fun is when you find the right background music.
Yeah, that
So
also.
you get like, you know, when you listen to Interstellar, the music, it gets you like very emotional. Like you're
elevates
you're building up to something, you know.
Yeah.
So I like listen to Patrick Watson, those kind of artists who like mainly like music, you know, piano and like, you know, and then when you feel the music, then you feel the emotions,
Correct.
and then you're able to like write it down.
Correct.
So as I'm writing, I'm actually not visualizing anything
Okay.
until I get my script writing, and then I'm like, okay, when I'm looking at this, what do I imagine? What is the image that comes up? So then I will film the image.
So, did you repurpose your video? Because I saw the scenes, right? Did you repurpose your old videos, or did you shoot some specifically for this?
All the okay, when it's like with me and my friends, they were all old footages.
Okay.
They were all old. Like I vlog a lot. I film a lot. I film a lot in like, when I say a lot, you know how much now? I have like 5 tera gig.
Oh my god.
And I only have 1 tera left.
Oh wow.
That's a lot of footage.
That's a lot of footage.
That's a lot. Yeah. So I film a lot. So I've categorized them in different categories, like maybe with family, with friends, the month.
Oh,
so
okay.
so if I want to film something or edit something, I have some footage of
Okay.
an event, so it's easy for me to.
Because the videos, right? It was very purposeful.
Yes.
It was very like
It made
thought out.
sense. Yeah,
it made sense.
it made sense to what I was saying.
Yeah, correct. It went with a proper flow.
Yeah.
I noticed that. It was very good.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Oh, thank you. Actually, when I filmed that video and I sent them a picture of the cover for the reel, then they wanted, and this was on the same day, they actually wanted another cover because they feel like they had too many close-up pictures of their shoes. So they wanted the video to be posted in the evening.
Okay.
So they told me about this in the afternoon. I was like, oh my god, how am I going to film? Like, how am I going to take another picture? So I was like, okay, since it's Valentine, so I went to my room. I had like a dresser set. I cleared the dresser set. I wiped the thing. I put a flower. I put a signboard. I wore a dress. I didn't do my face, nothing. And I wore the heels and I just took a photo. So it, like, in moments like that, suddenly it would just come to me what I want to do.
Okay, so they wanted
like, you know, sometimes you take photo of the cover, sometimes it'd be like of the shoes alone, but sometimes they want like a full body with the shoes, or like they want like different thing. So I think because my initial cover was like a close up, just a shoe, but they wanted like me with the shoe.
Oh, okay. Of
So,
course.
yeah,
Celebrity.
No, but they didn't see my face. It's just like, you know, a different setting. So like in those moments, randomly some thought would come. And when that moment come, I always like grab that moment. I will never like postpone later. Because when I postpone, then you feel less motivated.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
I can relate.
So yeah, I mean, like I have actually, ever since COVID, I've been always wanting to support local brands. So I usually like to buy stuff from small businesses, and then some of them actually do give me for free. They just give me, but they never ask anything in return. They will never say, "Oh, post this," or like nothing. And then I feel like it's just like unwritten rule out of like courtesy, like thanking them. You just like tag them or what. But when anybody give me anything free, I will do one whole photo shoot for them. I will do it for them, and then they will feel very like touched lah. They feel like, you know, thank you for doing that. So when I'm doing, like I said, like especially for brands that I really, really love, I don't mind not being paid because I'm already gifted the gift. They gave me a free pair of shoes. And then add on to that, payments is like so much lah for me. But that's because it's not my main source of income. It's different if like content creating, if you're an influencer, this is your bread and butter, then yes,
correct,
obviously be paid for your work, you know. So I usually, for me, if anybody offers to pay, it would be nice. Then obviously I'll put even more effort than I already would. But usually I will just do it lah. Not to say don't pay me lah, like do pay lah. you know.
So, because I started this podcasting here, right?
Yeah.
So my dad, this one time he asked me, so how are you going to make money off of this? And I never had I didn't know what to tell him.
Yeah.
So probably if I do this often, I think the main way to earn will be through sponsorship, I think.
Yeah, people sponsor podcasts. I mean, yours is going on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
I mean, these are all streams where you can earn. See, my podcast is on...
Oh yeah, let's talk about your podcast. I almost forgot.
My podcast is... What a nice segue.
Yeah.
My podcast is only on Apple Music and Spotify. I don't have it on YouTube. I don't have it any other places.
So, like, let's talk about what got you, like, why you started this.
Okay. So, for the longest time, people have been asking me to do podcasts because I talk a lot. I love talking, you know.
Okay.
And I have a lot of conversations with my mom. in the car. Whenever we are like going on road trips or what, it's either we're listening to songs and we're singing songs together, or we're just talking. Like when I'm talking about just me and my mom, we have like deep talks. We will talk about like my mom will talk about motherhood. She'll tell me like, she'll ask me very randomly. She'll ask me, Sangghamitra, do you think I'm a good mother?
That's a very good question.
And for me, it really caught me off guard. There was this once we were having ice cream while waiting for my sister to finish work. She asked me, so do you think I was a good mother? Then I was like, the very fact that you asked me this question says a lot.
About, yeah.
She said, no, because I want to know that I'm improving or I'm doing better than I should.
Wow.
I said, and I was very honest with her. I said, Mom, there are moments that I feel that you could have been better. Then she asked me like what? So I told her, I said, a lot of parents do this. So when a child makes a mistake, naturally you would tell like, okay, tell me the truth, what really happened. And it takes so much of courage for the kids to be honest to the parent, especially in a situation where the parents are really angry and annoyed. So when the kids already mustered up the courage to tell, and as soon as they tell, parents immediately scold them. Then kids realize, okay, if I'm going to tell the truth and if you're going to scold me, next time I won't tell the truth.
Correct.
I would just not ever tell you because I know this is how you're going to react. So I said, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying you should never scold me. Maybe tell me, okay, process what I'm saying. Also understand why I did what I did. And you tell me, okay, this is not right. We will definitely talk about this later, but I want to be there to understand this, you know? So I said, if you gave me that space to admit my truth, and I already feel guilty, but knowing that you are going to support me makes me even feel guilty that I will really work on not doing the same thing again.
Correct.
So I feel like I needed a period for you to just listen instead of wanting to correct it. And I feel like as parents, it's very natural for you to correct the mistake. Let's solve it. Let's solve it. Let's get this sorted out. But sometimes you just need to listen.
Correct.
You know, you don't need to get it sorted that very minute. You need to listen, and that makes a difference to the child. Right. So because I had this kind of conversations with my mom, I realized they were very important conversations. And I realized not many people have those conversations with their parent or with their sibling or with their friends. And I feel like I never grew up listening to another people. Like podcast is a very new thing. I mean, it has been there for years, but it's now being more known. You know, people are more on it. And people listen to podcasts when they're driving or when they're showering or when they're cleaning the room, you know. So I feel like I want to talk about topics that people are uncomfortable to talk about, but I feel like topics that people should talk about, whether that's relationships, failures, life, you know, customs, conventional stuff, everything. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's all about having a conversation. Whether you resolve it or not, it's having that conversation. Let people be aware of this so they don't feel like, okay, sometimes you have these thoughts, right, to yourself. You think to yourself, oh my God, nobody's going to think the way I think. But if somebody actually shares the similar thought, you feel less alone. You'll be like, oh my God.
Included.
Yeah, I feel like, oh my God, actually it's not that bad that I think that way. Somebody also thinks the same way that I think. So
it helps lah.
It does. So that's why the name of my podcast is called Grownups Still Growing. Because I feel like no matter how old you grow, you're always going to learn something new.
Correct.
Even when you become a young adult or when you become a parent or grandparents, you're always going to learn.
Continues. It never stops.
Chinese have this saying, you know, it says, 活到老学到老. That means so long you live, that's how long you're going to learn. There's never an end date to learning, to knowledge.
Correct.
I know it's very deep, but it really is. You're always going to learn something. There's always something from the previous generation that you must learn. You can learn, and something they will have to learn from them. You know, it's an exchange like that. So
it's a constant.
So that's the whole point of me creating like my podcast. Because I haven't been posting since I started chambering, so I was like, okay, I need to post something that I feel that I resonate well with. Which is, you know, so I decided to release this podcast on my birthday, so on 19 November. It was also election day. So I pre-recorded it and everything. So I physically wrote down 26 things that I wish my 16 years old self knew. You know, So I can't remember all 26 things I wrote it down. I mean, one of the things...
Give us the most the
the
notable
one,
ones.
Notable one. Oh my God, I had really good ones. The one that I would really say is... Yeah, I have one good one. I can't remember now. It's not in my brain. One of it, something about not about quit. I think something about failure. I think something is about... I think that was the one that really hit. Where I think about the moment you feel like giving up or something like that. Or obviously, I wrote it in a nicer sentence.
Okay.
It is that moment where you have to push yourself.
Okay.
It is actually in that line. You know, when you're in that verge of giving up.
Yeah.
Actually, that is the best time to give up, because you feel like, okay, my mind is ready to give up, my body is ready to give up. But
that's when you should plow through.
That one step you do, that's when things will really change for you. It was that.
I can relate to that.
You can relate to that, because when the bar course, when I remember I told you I was sharing my experience, the moment I was going to give up, but something that Dinesh said that struck to me, in that 1%, I decided to change my thought. And within that, I just completely changed my whole mindset. And that's why I say, whenever you have certain thoughts that is positive, that it motivates you, act on it. Don't push it aside. I know it becomes a habit. I'll do later, but act on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can relate to it.
You know, it takes a lot of strength.
And a bit of discipline as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that.
I ran out of questions.
Yeah, I got no other things to say at the moment.
Okay, then in that case, let's end it now.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll have your Instagram and your podcast on the description. So thank you very much for coming once again.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
All right then. Okay, we'll end it now.
Yes. Bye. What a time.